Hi everyone, today I'm just going to be going over Photoshop 3D and just how to get started. So first thing I'm going to do, before you open any project, just go to Edit, Preferences, Performance, and just make sure User Graphics Processor is turned on. And then you can click OK, and go to Window, Workspace, and just make sure you're in 3D workspace there. Then you could just open your project, just like normally when you open a project, File, Open. And today I'm going to be using an OBJ 3D object. There are different types of file formats you can use, but OBJ is probably the best. This second window will pop up. This is where you can change your texture size. Today I am going to be using a 1K texture, and click OK. And here is our 3D object in Photoshop 3D. I'm just going to go over how to navigate around the viewport, how to change the light, and just getting started with texturing. So on the right here, on the 3D tab underneath there is your scene and everything in it that you need to know. There is your view, which is what you see here, and I'm going to be going over how to change that. I'm also going to go over how to change your light, which is the next one down. And I'll just let you know that you can also change your material, which is underneath your 3D object. So you can change that material just in the properties here. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to move around in your viewport. So if you have your current view selected and you press V on the keyboard, the move tool will come up, which then you can just go ahead and just click and drag on the viewport, and you can tumble around your 3D object. So you can just tumble there. Just above your viewport there is your 3D mode. And the first button is your tumble. The second one is rotate. The third one is pan. And the last one is zoom. Okay, so we know how to move around the scene. So that's just selecting on the current view, pressing V on the keyboard. And you can change the way you move around your scene by just pressing these buttons up here. Or on the right in properties, you can also change the coordinates there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is the light and how to change it. When that is selected, while also pressing V on the keyboard, so the move tool, you can click this top little ball and you can move your light source around. So this is helpful to see while you're texturing how light plays a part of your textures. So you can move, by moving that little ball around, it's quite easy to just move it around. You can also just click and drag in the viewport, but that can be a bit snappy and a bit hard to move. So that's the easiest way to do it. You can also go to change the light settings. You go over to properties and just the little picture of the sun. You click on that and these settings come up here. You can go to presets, so there are some nice ones here. Dawn, and you can once again move that around. So you can change to any of these settings. You can also create your own by adding types of lights and clicking save. You can also change the color of your lights, the intensity, and the shadow. Go back a bit brighter. Okay, so now we know how to move around in our viewport, change the light in the viewport, and the next thing I'm going to show you is how to get your actual 2D texture up. So that can help you texture better by bouncing back between the 2D and the 3D, painting in the 2D and the 3D of your object. So if you go to your 3D tab here, and just to the right there should be a Layers tab. click on that. If that's not up, go to Window and Layers, and that's how you get that up. So this is your 3D object here and your textures that are in place. So I just got a diffuse here, so you can just tell by diffuse, and that's your texture. If you double click on that, it will pop up a second window, which is actually your 2D image, your 2D texture. So you've got your 3D and your 2D. It also shows you the UVs. You can turn that on and off by over on the right on the UVs. You can turn them on and off, change their color and opacity. So we can pretty much just get straight into painting using the regular tools that you do for any sort of Photoshop work. So I'm going to press B on the keyboard to get the brush up and paint straight onto the object. My light's a bit bright here, very bright. There you go. So you can just paint straight onto the object. Straight onto the object, and if you go into your second window, it's live straight onto your 2D texture. So you can bounce between them, you can edit on your 2D, you can even just texture straight onto your 2D and then go into your 3D and test and see what it looks like, or you can play with light. This is a really good way to just work out what you are texturing. It's quite a nice way to texture and to get your texture out. So once you've done, you go to your 2D image, File, Save As, your normal, whatever you want to save it out to. So that's basically the things you need to know to get started with texturing in Photoshop 3D.